Follow Helen Paul and I, Frank Donga.
Do you know that Nigeria is the third largest producer of ginger in the world?
Maybe that's why we have this ginger touch. Ginger, oh, ginger.
And time's up.
As we uncover the untold stories of food heroes on the front lines.
If I have money, I will maximize this place. I have the capacity to plant 500 hectares a year.
Parasite is the major problem also in farming.
Connecting them to untapped opportunities and the experts who can solve their problems.
You can't plant at the same time somebody can is planting. You have to follow the NEMIT report to know when the rainfall and the best season. So that is the challenge.
If tomato touches the water, then it starts rotting. Tomato should not touch the water.
This is Farm and Fortune. Tonight on Farm and Fortune.
We don't have enough maize in this country.
We have 4 hours in fertilizer application.
3, 2, 1.
It's all coming up right now.
Helen, I don't know if I've told you one fantastic story like that before. When I could not find roasted corn on the road and I decided to roast corn by myself.
This sounds like a tough one, but it might be good. Tell me more about it.
So I could not find corn. I just said, how hard can it be? Let me roast my corn by myself. So I took raw corn. I rub it with salt. Even rub it with pepper. I carry hot plates, plug it, and put the corn on the hot plate.
But why can't you just boil it? Let the water boil and you eat your thing.
That's one of the reasons why I said, okay, this is episode of Farm and Fortune today. Today, we will explore everything about corn. Growing maize, whether it's maize you want to call it or corn or join, it's today we'll settle it.
Hey, my people, long story or top corn. Well, my name is Helen Paul.
And I am Frank Donga.
And this is Farm and Fortune. You're welcome back. It's still your favorite show, Farm and Fortune. And we have a special guest in the studio with us in person of Mr. Ayo Oluwa Okedeji. Is here from Agro Infotech Africa and is our CEO, right? A company that brings together farmers and, of course, investors to give great opportunities. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ellen.
Yes,
you
for
for
having
having
me.
me.
Again.
When we see that name, Agro Infotech, now 3 different departments you merged together in one,
I'm telling you.
What exactly, what problem was your company trying to solve by creating this idea?
Yeah, thank you, Frank. So this company started as far back as 2007, I should say that. And it was out of the test of trying to find a balance between how technology really comes to play in agriculture. So, and yeah, we have some products that we have been able to develop over the years. And one of it is actually one that has to do with connecting farmers to profitable markets. Yeah.
So, but how do your company create this opportunities for the farmers? Because investing and getting opportunities is not easy. How do you get these people together?
So majorly what we do for farmers is access to markets.
Access to markets.
We don't invest into production. Because with experience, we realized that farmers may not be able to even return back what you have given them on time. And if you put investors' money into a kind of a scheme like that, you never can be sure that that money will come back. But when it comes to the markets where they actually get to trade, so what we use investors' money for is actually to help farmers access the profitable markets and also connecting the processors. I mean, those that make use of this end products to have access to farmers. So it's like a farm gate, market gates process that we actually do majorly.
I know that a lot of farmers complain about, producing and struggling to sell. Where some of them complain that they produce this, they produce that, but getting it to the market or getting good buyers that will give them money probably immediately or upfront, it's a challenge. So how have you been able to solve that problem? For maize, for example, where's the market? And who are those that will demand maize? And is there really market for maize?
For maize.
So maize is one of the commodities that is being competed for by both humans and animals. I mean, if you look at the varieties of what comes out of maize, that humans consume and what, for example, the poultry industry is one of those that actually consume a very large quantity of maize and all of that. So we don't have enough maize in this country. And yes, the government is trying to encourage local production, but still, there's still a gap. But the issue is this. Farmers that produce on a large scale are not as much as farmers that produce on a smaller scale. And for you to be able to sell your product profitably, maize in this case, you must be able to at least have enough quantity that you can take to these major buyers. So a farmer that is getting 2-3 tons from his farm cannot take 2-3 tons to the final off-taker. So what farmers really need to do, and what we are helping farmers to do, is to group them together in clusters. Okay. Making sure that when you have 10, 15, 20 farmers, you buy the output from them, you can connect them to that market. There are a lot of players in between, and those are actually the ones that make the money.
What can the farmers do? Because we can't keep hearing this story of farmers are suffering. When will farmer blow? When will farmer hammer?
Problem.
What can they do? What are you helping them to do? Is there anything you or the government can do to make sure the farmers also...
So from our side, we are really leveraging on lots of technology to make sure that we can ensure access to the right inputs for farmers. That is the only place where we really come in supporting the farmers. Then this access to markets. So what we are now trying to do is to leverage on investors' funds to ensure that process. So making sure that we know what the major buyers are in need of, the quality they're looking for, and the quantity. Then we'll walk through these farmers' clusters to make sure we can get that right quantity and quality. And we now leverage on investors' funds to now connect.
Wow, that's a lot. And I know you have suggestions and ideas for farmers on how to prevent loss of quality that the off-takers are looking for and how to dry their maize properly. We actually spoke to a few farmer friends of ours. They shared their challenges, the problems they go through when it comes to marketing or getting investment or meeting people like you. We're going to take a short break now. All right? We're going to see what some of them have to say. After the break, we'll come back and talk some more. But right now, we want you to see what some of our farmers or farmer friends are saying about investors and markets. We'll be right back very shortly. Don't go anywhere. It's still Farm and Fortune.
Farmer needs differ based on the crop they grow. But regardless of their location or crop, the need for a market to sell is a universal one. While some have settled to selling in their local markets and others have chosen to sell through agents, all farmers wish they knew how to get their crops into more hands, in far places, even across the borders. When we asked them if they would like to expand their reach and sell more, they all had the same thing to say.
Most of the time, company used to come. That was then. But now they don't come again. I don't know why. So normally now, the way we used to do it now, I take it to the scale. And we have some agent from other company that used to come and buy it from us. That is how we do it now.
Until you have someone link you up with those big organizations, that one is limited to the teaming up. But if there's a link, I would have loved to sell my market to big organizations because it pays well, rather than the way you are selling it. To give you a reasonable amount, but it's just because how one can be able to link with such big markets.
While our farmers look for markets to sell their yield, processors and manufacturers are also in search of good crops to process into finished products.
Why I play the role of the agents is for the fact that the market situation is very scarce. And so we play that role because we at least have 1 or 2 places where we can be able to send these things to. And it offers also opportunity to the farmers who are already growing to have hope of where they will be able to send to us from their farms.
While agents and middlemen may be lifting some of the weight, Nigeria's production sector will fare better when farmers can sell more and grow more. With the farmers stuck in the inlands and the organizations situated in the cities, how can we bridge the gap to ensure a consistent flow of produce and value that is beneficial to everyone?
now, well, our faces may be different, but our problems are the same, my brother. Okay.
So farmers are going through this much. You saw what a lot of them said. Everybody's talking about market. They don't get their money. Why is it that some farmers don't get their money in good quantity and to have value for it? And sometimes they have to spread it. It's still the same problem. Market, market, market. Why?
Everywhere.
What can they do about this?
So majorly, farmers are not getting a lot of reward for their efforts. It's even beyond what we're discussing. Because for a farmer to really produce over a 3-4 months period, you will need resources to be able to do that. So most times they go to this middleman that buys from them to borrow money for them to actually buy chemicals, buy fertilizers, buy seeds and all that. And it's now the middleman that controls the price. So at the point of them doing that, it's not going to really be in the interest of the producer itself. So it's one of the issues. So there's also a need for the government to create enabling systems. I mean, we need to bring back the commodity boards.
Commodity board?
Yes, because it's going to really help the farmers because they can dictate what is happening in between the final consumers. I mean, the factories that needs maize, for example, as a commodity, as a raw material for their own processing line, and be able to dictate what the farmer is going to sell. So if for the price of maize is going for 200,000 per ton, for example, and we know that to move maize from Shaki in Oyo State to Ogun State, we understand what the cost is going to be. We can decide how much the farmer can sell at that point. So
are you saying maize farmers are not making so much money?
Or can they make more than they are making?
They can make more if they use the right inputs and they follow the right processes and the volume of what they're also producing. If it is as much as something that can be sold directly to the final consumers.
Is that possible?
Very possible.
If they have enough quantity, they can go directly to the consumer themselves?
Yes, if you have anything around 10 tons, you can actually sell
directly.
So
the way the country sometimes depend on oil, can we depend on solely maize to grow a country? Is it possible?
Honestly, it's very possible. We have the right climate. We have the right soil. We have the right output from our research institutions. We have good seeds. You know, it's just the knowledge and the information that is...
to get it out there.
Yeah, getting it out there, making sure that the farmers are doing what is right. They are not keeping grains to plant as seeds, and they are using the right agrochemicals when it comes to fertilizers to make sure they get the right yield. So it's actually very possible.
Okay, so if you were to advise a young farmer watching us right now who wants to go into maize farming, what 3 things would you tell them to take note of so that they don't get their fingers burnt and also to maximize their potential in farming?
So they should start from the market.
Understanding the market.
Yeah, they should start from the market before they really go into production. So if you are able to start from the market, it gives you a whole idea of what is going on so that you can decide the kind of maize you want to plant. Who is it for? Is it the maize you're going to harvest fresh and you sell, you know, to those that roast maize by the roadside? They also dictate that price. Or you want to keep your maize to the level when it is dry enough, which means you are adding some value to heat after harvest before you can now process and sell to, you know, the big off-takers actually pay more.
So, Mr. Oluwa, what kind of linkage channels exist for farmers to be able to, you know, connect together and get access to markets, to funding, all this? What channels do they have available to them, you know, to help them make this thing possible so that they get the best price for their commodity?
So there are so many programs that the government, you know, but majorly there are a lot of farmers cooperatives. So I also encourage farmers to make sure they belong to an association that is farmer oriented. You know, not just a political association that is meant to just bring them together for political gains, but they can come together to share knowledge, share information, and combine resources together to make sure they have better gains for their...
Which of this is the most effective, all these channels? Which one would you recommend as the most effective for farmers?
Private farmers associations. I mean,
private.
The private farmers association.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayo Oluwa. for sharing your knowledge with us on this show. And if you're out there, you're also thinking, how can I make the best of my farming passion and what I'm already doing? We got you. Just go to your app store and download the Udongo app, and you get yourself all the information that you need. Connect with us, share your experience with us on Farm&Fortune. Right now, don't go anywhere. After this, we have much more for you. But right now, we have the DIY, do-it-yourself segment. Fresh stuff for you. Check it out.
When you choose to play on the fields of the ancient agrarian marketplace, consider a good coach to take along with you. The Udongo app is your gateway to the Nigerian agricultural ecosystem. Whether you are a newbie or an oldie, signing up instantly connects you with a community of other farmers, products, agents, distributors, and resources all in one place. Access our unique and simple interface from the bustling big cities to the most remote regions across Nigeria. Enjoy full access to real-time farming solutions that help you make timely and profitable decisions. Or allow our one-on-one consultancy services cheer you on with each move you make. As a newbie or oldie looking to make a big agricultural footprint, feel secure knowing you have the best coach always in your pocket. Udongo app is your personalized farming coach, available to you every time, anywhere, just at the click of a button. Download the Udongo app from the Google Play Store now and enjoy new opportunities.
Welcome to the Farm&Fortune DIY hack. Today, I'll be showing you how to get noticed online as a professional in the agricultural sector. To get noticed online, join professional sites and create business profiles on social media. The following tips will help you. Always use passwords that are strong but easy to remember. When describing yourself, use keywords that easily connect to what you do. Use a profile picture. It helps people remember you. Follow or connect with organizations, people, and bodies that are relevant to your business. Create posts and engage with other people's posts as often as you can. The more active you are, the more you'll get noticed.
Welcome back. It's still Farm&Fortune. We have our soil experts in the studio with us in person of Miss Ebere Chuko. Good to have you.
Thank you.
There's this popular saying that our organic inputs alone can sustain the soil without the need of fertilizers.
Well, organic manure alone can sustain the soil.
Okay.
Because it improves the soil structure and is also a reservoir for soil nutrients.
Okay.
But in terms of supplies, the amount of it cannot be enough. It needs these inorganic fertilizers because looking at the case study, which is maize, maize is a heavy feeder.
Okay.
And then it cannot just strive just only based on organic manure.
But I heard that the application of fertilizer can never be too much. It will help your crops to grow and grow and you keep having more. Just keep applying anyhow. Is that true?
We have 4 hours in fertilizer application. We have the right time.
Right time.
We have the right rate.
Right rate.
We have the right placement.
Right placement.
And we have the right source.
Right source.
So before you apply your fertilizer, you have to take this 4 hours into consideration.
Okay.
Because you should know the time, the accurate time to apply that your fertilizer, whether it's 2 weeks after planting or 4 weeks after planting. You have to know the right placement, whether it's ring method or side placement. You have to know the right rate, whether it's 100 kilograms per hectare, which is equal to 3 bags or 2 bags, depending on the input we are talking about. And then finally, we have the right source. The right source is very important. You can't just go anywhere and then get your fertilizer and then apply to the soil.
So looking at secrets of the soil in Lafia and Nasarawa states, what do we do now?
Okay. This is a soil report, the soil information from Lafia and Nasarawa state. From this soil test analysis, we can see that the pH level is adequate.
Okay.
Then the available phosphorus is high.
Yes.
Then we have the exchangeable potassium, which is very low.
Then we have the total nitrogen, which is also very low. And these are major nutrients that add nutrients to this maize. Like I said, maize is a heavy feeder, so it needs maximum amounts of nutrients for it to be able to grow very well and then have optimum yield. Then, if you want to correct this soil, you have to, there are proper fertilizer recommended for it. Looking at the fertilizer recommendation, if you apply this, if you follow this fertilizer recommendation, you will have your yield from 2.5, which to up to even or above 5 tons per hectare. So let's take a look at the NPK 15. You should apply it at the rate of 150 kilogram per hectare, which is equivalent to 3 bags of it. And it should be applied during planting. Like I said when I was mentioning the 4 hours. Then the second one, we have the urea. It should be applied at the rate of 100 kilogram per hectare, which is equivalent to 2 bags. And it should be applied 30 days after crop emergence. Then the last but not the least is the urea, which it should be applied at the rate of 100 kilogram per hectare, and is also equivalent to 2 bags of it. This should be applied, is a second application at 45 days after crop emergence. So you see, before you apply your fertilizer, it's very important that you should take into consideration this 4R, because it will boost your yield, and at the end of the day, you will have your maximum production.
Thank you, Mr. Berechukwu. I have learned so much. Very easy now. Just know when to apply, how to apply, and that will also help you. So if you want good plants, good crops, you must follow the rules and applications. Once again, thank you. It's still Farm and Fortune, and right now we're going to Frank Duncan for the game. Are you ready to play the game with our farmers and learn so much more? Don't go anywhere. Enjoy it.
It's game time on Farm and Fortune. And you know how we do it here. 16 farmers are going to compete for the grand prize of $500,000 naira. I mean, 500,000 naira worth of farm inputs. And on this episode, joining me to play this game to see who's going to continue to the next knockout round, I have 2 wonderful farmers here with me. To my immediate left, I have Mebunu Deborah. She's a farmer. You're welcome on the show.
Thank you.
And I also have Osuga Charles. You're welcome on the show.
Thank you very much.
So, Deborah, you are a farmer. What kind of things do you farm?
I'm into fish farming.
Fish farming. Interesting. What kind of fish?
Catfish.
Catfish. I like catfish pepper soup. I'm sure you like catfish pepper soup too.
Yes.
Mr. Osuga Charles, how are you? And you are also a farmer. What do you farm?
I'm into plantation.
Plantation?
Yes, and rabbit production.
Rabbit production. Interesting. Yeah. Now, the game is very easy. All you have to do is look at this plastic barrel in front of you. This black plastic barrel contains items that are made or that contain maize and its byproducts. I repeat, this plastic barrel that you see in front of you contains items that have either maize or its byproducts in them. When you find the item, bring it out, put it on the table. You take turns, 1 person at a time, all right? And whoever has the most items displayed on this table is the winner. Time starts in 3, 2, Time's up. So, on the game segment of Farm and Fortune, we had 2 farmers competing at the knockout stages to see if they can get to the grand finale and position themselves to win the 500,000 naira worth of farm inputs. All they had to do was dig through this black barrel and pick as many items as they can that contain corn, or maize if you like, and its byproducts. Unfortunately, they had just 60 seconds, and Deborah, to my extreme left there, was not able to pick out any. Osuga Charles picked all those items on the table, part of which, of course, that obviously contain, corn or its byproducts. So we have a clear winner. Charles is the winner. All right, Charles, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
But guess what? Everybody is a winner on Farm and Fortune Game Time. Right there at home, you too are a winner. You know what to do. Just go and follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and, participate in the questions on www.farmandfortune.com, and let's see what you can be up to. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Don't go anywhere yet. We'll be right back after now. Absolutely beautiful game. I'm sure many of you didn't even know you could make gum from maize.
I've learned so much from the program today. Next week, make sure you're close to your TV sets.
Thank you for watching our show this week.
And don't forget to keep the conversation going. Follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, @Farm&Fortune.
Until next time, I'm Frank Donga.
I'm Helen Paul. See you next week.